Luke 10 verses 36 to 37. Which now of these three, thinkest thou, was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that shewed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, Go, and do thou likewise. Following yesterday's sharing, while studying the star map of Sinai, we find that at the end of Joshua's generation, towards the Star of Bethlehem? Because it's gonna happen again. Once upon a time, when the Lord Jesus was born, his father took him to Egypt. When they walked by, this road leads to the Star of Bethlehem. Now, in these few years, we witness with our own eyes, God has led us on this path. Since we're Tav, we'll be the same age, like the redemption of the doctor in Three Kings Come to Court. In the meantime, this is the faith they wait for, desire, and possess. Of course, on the surface, this is a story of three kings coming to court, reflecting on the truth of the faith in the Lord Jesus, but on a deeper level, the reason they came before Jesus, for this is their faith, and it is their destiny. Though we don't know what God gave them, what ancient artifacts you see, what allusions you hear, let them find the Star of Bethlehem. The events that set off the three kings are forever recorded in the Bible, but there's no denying it, that is the meaning of their existence, the meaning of their faith. At that time, everything was a living drama. Why does the Star of Bethlehem reappear and point to us in the last days? Why does Hong Kong have the Star of Bethlehem? Why do so many things confirm us? Is it the church to which the Star of Bethlehem points? The reason is that the events of the three kings coming will be repeated. By recognizing us, became the salvation of sackcloth witnesses in this era, to know, to receive, after our rapture, their actual work. Otherwise, even the beginning of faith, they have no way to start, for they cannot find a spokesperson for God's time. Even they couldn't accept the spokesperson at all, how can it be its continuation? Because, as the sackcloth witness, it must be a continuation of this spokesperson. In short, God points to us with the common message of the stars of Bethlehem, it's to make a point. At Aleph, what does the pointing of the Star of Bethlehem mean? Not only the Old Testament prophets, the angels in the fields of Bethlehem, even when the three kings came, they all said, The Lord Jesus is Israel's salvation. At that time, the Star of Bethlehem pointed, representing the Lord Jesus as Israel's salvation. Now that the gospel has been preached to the Gentiles, thus, the salvation of the whole world, is to continue our revival and trace. Not necessarily hundreds of millions of people, only a small number of people are looking for us. But since then, they've become a bunch of sackcloth witnesses. Let the gospel spread widely in the remaining 3.5 years. Even though their numbers are small, through the internet, eventually, the message will spread all over the world. In other words, in us. Why is the Star of Bethlehem pointing? Clearly, the Lord Jesus has come to this world. Why is there still a Star of Bethlehem? Please note that I use the word still. Historically, long before the Lord Jesus was born, these buildings already exist. The Sinai map alone proves this. But this bull-leg phenomenon, even Hong Kong, Paris, some buildings were built only in recent decades. Why does the Star of Bethlehem appear again and again, and the information that points to us? It's like predicting the future of us. Would go there to share information. So he left us a clue to the Star of Bethlehem. And for that reason, we are Tav, so, the history of the three kings will repeat itself, so that people can take up their faith, and we are raptured as a child. No wonder the Star of Bethlehem points at us. As for the way we communicate our faith to people, it is different from the past. Before sharing the Zion message, we were going to have a 10-day gathering and so on. I hope one day to be a church of millions. Because I wanted to be like Cho Yong-ji. but then he went to prison, and now he's dead. Of course, I will no longer learn from him. And most importantly, our identity is greater and more important, because we are like a child. Imagine if the Lord Jesus, as a child, is it to stand up and be the leader? He was just born in a manger. Similarly, when we finish our work, there is nothing left to pass on to the people. The only thing people have to do is identify us, then, to complete the last step they can take, and then we'll be raptured. Before we were raptured, this interesting procedure will happen. It's become people's lifetime, the opportunity to officially execute the second greatest commandment, in the remaining 1,260 days, fulfill both the greatest commandments at the same time. Before, they were completely opposite, but in time, they will leave Babylon. That is, whether Jews or Christians, all are fugitives from Babylon. Luke 10 verses 36 to 37. Which now of these three, thinkest thou, was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that shewed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, Go, and do thou likewise.
The mighty God, the Prince of Peace, wiping all our sin away. Soon our simple lives will never be the same. It is the least that I can do. You're my everything and more. Into your presence we have come. We shall worship and adore. You will bring joy into our lives. Generations bless your name. Oh, that little star has brought me straight to you. Star of Bethlehem, I thank you. In a manger lowliest of low, he has been born, the Lord of all our hearts. No amount of precious incense can exchange the gift that he will bring into our lives. Emmanuel has come. Bring hope